What's up guys, AJ here, and in this video I'm going to be talking about why calling expired listings is so important, maybe now more than ever. And I'm going to be discussing specifically the top 3 reasons why they're so important that you call them. And I'm thinking that number 3 you're going to want to see because it may just affect the rest of your real estate career in an extremely positive way. I've taught this to hundreds and hundreds of agents, and many of them have just taken it and run with it and are crushing expireds, like my good friend Doug DeGrout, who went from a brand new agent to someone just killing it with expireds. So stay tuned guys, and I'm going to cover all of that in a 10-part series over the next 10 weeks, and this is video 1 of that series, so let's dive in. So number 1, without a doubt, they are the fastest and cheapest way to commission check. And even if you're not in the need of a commission check right now, maybe you're not a new agent, maybe you have a great business, they're the fastest and cheapest way to double your business and double your income. I would put for sale by owners also in this category, but I like expireds a little bit better when I'm looking at things that can increase your business the fastest and with the least cost. Now, things that would not be in that category are, say, paying for buyer leads, Zillow, Realtor.com, pay-per-click, sitting at open houses. If you're still at a bricks and mortar office and you're waiting for business to come through the door, they call it call duty, waiting for people to call in. That's been dead for a long time. I hope you're not still doing that. Networking, things where you're basically waiting for the business to come to you, those are going to be a more long-term strategy and oftentimes are a lot more expensive. I mean, Zillow leads, for example, Realtor.com leads, pay-per-click. I mean, we're talking hundreds and thousands of dollars, and it's extremely long buying cycles with those types of leads. Typically, if a lead comes in, you're going to be looking 90, 100, 365 days out, whereas if you call an expired today, and it just went off the market last week, they might be ready to put their house back on the market today, get it listed ASAP, and it could sell the first few days on the market, giving you a commission check in the next 3 days. Whereas an incoming buyer lead, they're usually just in the initial phases of buying. They still need to go look at houses, which can be a lengthy process. So working with sellers in general, especially expired listings, is just a faster way to get to a closing. Number 2, it's a proven, repeatable system. We know it's a numbers game. When you make X amount of contacts, you're going to set X amount of appointments, and you're going to take X amount of listings, and X amount of listings is going to sell. I'll share a little story with you. When I first got into real estate about 8 years ago, I was asking every top producer in my office, hey, what's the path to success that you took? What's that proven blueprint that if I follow, I know that I'll be successful? And the general advice that I got for the most part was, work your sphere of influence. Well, for me, I just moved to North Carolina. I didn't have a sphere of influence. I actually didn't know anybody. Or they said, you just got to network, go to these different networking groups. Well, I didn't really want to go to networking groups because I'm not really into that type of social environment, and there still wasn't like, if you do this, X result will happen. So I was looking for this blueprint because when I was in college, I was with this company called Student Painters. And basically what I did is I taught college students how to run their own painting business, and we had that proven blueprint to teach those college students how to run their business. For example, if you passed out 500 flyers, you would get a lead. If you knocked on doors for an hour, you would get a lead. These are leads, people who actually want an estimate. If you put up 25 signs on a weekend, you would probably get at least 1 call. So that's kind of what I was looking for. I was like, well, if I, go out and knock on doors for real estate, how many leads am I actually going to get? Well, there's numbers for that. We can track that. Whereas if you just go to networking events, there's nothing really to track. There's no proven system that you can follow for networking that is proven to achieve X result. I hope that makes sense. So when I finally discovered this world of expired prospecting, I was like, man, this is what I've been looking for, because I figured out that if I say make 100 contacts, I'll set about 2 appointments. Out of those 2 appointments, I'll take 1 listing, and out of each listing that I take, I'll sell at the time about 70% of them. And my numbers could get better, and I could track that, and I have a numbers analyzer that I was following, and I could actually see how much money I was making per hour. That's the type of business that I like to run, because if I do this, I can expect X result. Sometimes when you're starting something new, it's hard to follow through with it when you don't know if the actions you're taking today are going to pay off in the future, right? We call that faith. It's easier to have faith when you know that there's people who have gone before you who did exactly what you are doing and it worked for them. And when you put in the work, there's a 0% failure rate. Well, that's the blueprint of expired prospecting that I'm going to share with you in this 10-part series. And the number 3 reason I think you should be calling expireds right now is because the market is changing. If you didn't know this, real estate runs on 10-year cycles. We're in about year 11 of a bull market cycle right now, meaning the market's been going up, up, up. And it's really time that the market starts to shift a little bit. You know, regardless of the coronavirus and all that going on right now, we were due for a correction. And when the market dips, more expireds come on the market because more and more homeowners can't get the price they want. They can't get the home sold. So when the home expires, they're looking for a great agent that can specialize in expired listings and can actually get the property sold. So right now, it's kind of really a perfect storm for agents who are willing to put in the work, practice their craft, and learn the expired game. This is the strong foundation for your business. If you're going through a recession, if you're going through uncertain times, don't you want to know that your business has a solid rock foundation upon which it's built? I don't know about you, but I do. And expireds is that for your real estate business. How cool is it when you know if you make 100 contacts, you'll set, depending on your numbers, 2 to 3, maybe 4 appointments, and you'll take at least 1 or 2 listings. And those 1 or 2 listings will say net you $7,000 in commissions. Like, how cool is it? I mean, at that point, it's like printing money almost. You know that X leads to Y equals Z. It's a mathematical equation. It's a numbers game. That's the expired game, and that's why I get so excited about it, because I like numbers games. It was so cool. I had a mentor one time. We were in Las Vegas. I was probably 22. I was there for a real estate investing seminar. We were at Circus. We weren't going out partying, doing all that. The mentor that was teaching the seminar invited some of us younger guys to go to Circus. So I've never been back to Circus since, but I remember there was like this arcade area. And in the middle of the arcade area, there was these bottles, and you threw rings on the bottles. So if the ring went on top of the bottle, you'd win a prize. And he just bought like 100 rings and just kept throwing them. And he kept buying more and more and more. And he ended up with all these prizes. And I followed his lead. And I remember winning an iPod Shuffle it was. And back then, iPods were just coming on the scene. So this was like awesome. And he said, it's not if, it's when. And we know that when you do the work with seller prospecting, it's not an if it's going to happen for you, it's when it happens for you, as long as you don't give up. So because I knew it would be so helpful to so many agents, I wanted to put together this 10-part series on expired listings. Now, if you follow through this entire series, you're going to have a really good idea of what it takes to be successful and what to do when calling expireds. So if you want to get all the latest updates on that, just hit the subscribe button and the alert bell, and you'll be notified every time a new video comes out. If you have questions about expireds, put them in the comments, because week by week I'm going to be creating the content, and I could use your questions to help craft the content, and that will better serve you. And another thing that I'm doing for the real estate agent community is I'm putting together a mini series. Now, if you click the link in the description and sign up for the waiting list, as soon as that mini series is available in a couple of weeks, you'll be the first one to get access to it. And guys, this is 100% free. So if you want access to that mini series on calling expired listings, go ahead and sign up on that waiting list in the description. I get so passionate about expired listings because really they completely changed my life. When I got into real estate, I didn't know what I was doing. I was trying everything under the sun. I had no clear direction. And my first year I only sold 6 houses, didn't make any money really. And what I learned though about halfway through that first year is I learned how to call expired listings, for sale by owners, all that type of seller prospecting. It was mostly expireds though, and by the end of that first year I had over 20 active listings. My second year, which was my first full year, I sold 36 houses, made around $150,000, and have never looked back since. So I look forward to seeing you continually watching these videos over the next 10 weeks. Join me in that mini series. I'll be doing a live call as well for everyone that signs up for that mini series. So guys, check it out, subscribe, share this with some realtor friends that you think might be able to benefit from this, and we'll see you next week.